Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca at the Church of Chewbacca, and we're going to do the AL East rankings of the Future Stars Team Affinity cards. We're going to rank them 1 through 5 within the division. Also, just a quick disclaimer, within these rankings, I'm going to mention Baseball Prospectus, Baseball America, and MLB.com prospect rankings. Also, some of the criteria for this list is, as always, the attributes of the player. Those are the most important always when it comes to any rankings that I provide, as well as some other factors that I factor in are the quirks of the player. For pitchers, their wind-up, how well they hide the ball when you're facing them. For hitters, if they're a switch hitter, what some of their secondary positions could be, as well as what their primary position is. Because I feel like some primary positions, especially for defensive attributes, matter more than others, such as center fielders need to have better defensive attributes than, let's say, a first baseman. Guys, also, please hit that subscribe button so I can keep making great content for you guys. I'm really enjoying making all this content. I hope you're enjoying it as well. The subscriptions allow me to know that I'm doing a good job with these videos. With all the requirements and the disclaimer out of the way, let's get into this top 5 list for the AL East. At number 5, we have the Future Stars shortstop for the Toronto Blue Jays, Jordan Groshans. Wait, this isn't Jordan Groshans? What? My bad. At number 5, we have the shortstop for the Toronto Blue Jays, number 23rd in their organization prospect, shortstop Kevin Smith. I'm not sure why San Diego Studios put in Kevin Smith rather than Jordan Groshans or any of the other prospects in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. However, the card that we do have is a 90 overall diamond Kevin Smith Future Star shortstop for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's a right-handed bat, right-handed throwing, has a secondary positions at second base and third base. He has diamond hitting, gold defense. If I'm being honest, this card really isn't that great, and it kind of makes sense based on what kind of prospect Kevin Smith is within his own organization at 23rd, as well as he's not top 100 in Baseball Prospectus or Baseball America, and actually only ever scraped, and I mean barely scraped, as in he was like 96th ranked in Baseball Prospectus, I think pre-2019, and he's never even sniffed close to the top 100 in Baseball America. Take a quick look at his attributes. He has 88 contact versus righties, 63 contact versus lefties, 84 power versus righties, 74 power versus lefties with 68 vision. Take a quick look at his fielding attributes, 75 fielding, 86 arm strength, 78 arm accuracy, 78 reaction, with 85 speed, 84 steal, and 78 base running aggressiveness. I'm not really sure why his hitting even has a diamond symbol next to it. His defense is okay for a shortstop. I just don't see the appeal in this car or why you would waste time grinding for it, to be honest. If he's like the 30th team affinity you have to get, then go ahead and get him. That's probably around when I'm going to get him. I just feel like between Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and this Kevin Smith, this has been a giant kick in the nuts for Toronto Blue Jays fans when it's come to the team affinities, especially because they have a really loyal fan base. And let's be honest, with no other Canadian team, the Blue Jays are Canada's baseball team. Like, there's nobody else. There's no team on the west of Canada. The other team that was in baseball was the Montreal Expos, and they've since moved to Washington like 8 years ago now. It's just pretty disrespectful to Toronto Blue Jays fans, in my opinion. This card's not good. I don't know what else to say. Other than him being 85 speed, there's just no appeal to this card for me. Low vision, doesn't have great power, doesn't have great contact, especially for a 90 overall diamond. Take a quick look at his quirks. He has Speedster and Thief. Like, he doesn't even have good quirks. Like, this card's just horrendous. That's why he comes in at number 5. He's probably 30th if you rank all of the Future Stars cards, to be honest. This card's just terrible for what came out within these team affinities for the Future Stars. At number 4, I have Bobby Dalbec, the Future Stars third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. He is 91 overall, right-handed bat, right-handed throwing, plays third base. Secondary position is first base. Diamond hitting, diamond defense. Before I get into going to the attributes of this card, I want to say that the rankings 2 through 4, all of the 3 of these cards were very close in my head of where I wanted to put them. So it's kind of a crapshoot of whether Dalbec was going to be 4th or the other 2 guys were going to be 4th. I went with Dalbec, and I'll explain why I went with Dalbec at 4th when I go over the attributes right here. I just want to let you guys know that it's pretty hard to rank these 2 through 4. The 5th guy in Kevin Schmidt, obviously the worst, and the number 1 guy is obviously the number 1 guy. There's separation between 5 and 4, and then 2 and 1. There's not much separation in the middle of these rankings at the 2 through 4, just so you guys know. Let's take a quick look at Dalbec's attributes. He has 64 contact versus righty, 68 contact versus lefty, 109 power versus righty, and 96 power versus lefty. For a right-handed bat, for him to hit the right-handed pitching with more power is kind of interesting to me. However, his contact versus lefty is slightly higher. But he has about equal contact and equal power, righty and lefty. Dalbec is a huge power bat, and I think he can make a big difference in the middle of your lineup if you need a home run. Or it could even be like a pinch hitter, especially at lower difficulties. However, when you get up into legend and against good Hall of Fame pitching, that 44 vision is really going to kill you, even with the 107 discipline, if I'm being honest. This card defensively is actually pretty good defensively, if I'm being honest. Probably actually elite at third base compared to some other cards. He has 88 fielding, 95 arm strength, 90 arm accuracy, 82 reaction, with 48 speed, so he's probably right around the above average speed for a third baseman within the game. The reaction at 82 is a little bit low for me at third base, in my opinion, compared to some other cards. However, the tremendous arm strength and the great fielding at 88 makes this a good defensive card. He's very well rounded on defense with huge power, so there's a lot of upside to this card. Kind of like the right-handed Joey Gallo a little bit, if I'm being honest. Especially because he can play third base and first base and has a huge arm and pretty decent fielding numbers. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are Bomber, Walker, Cannon, Sniper, Pressure Cooker, and Unbreakable. The Bomber, obviously, huge power. The Walker, great for those check swings, which I think will help a little bit with his small PCI. The Cannon and Sniper, obviously, as we mentioned, he has a huge arm. The Pressure Cooker is going to be big for him to drive in RBIs. I think this card, depending on what type of hitter you are, and if you're just looking for a straight power bat at third base, especially at his frame of 6'4", 225, I think he's going to be a very good card. It's just when you get to those higher difficulties, that 44 vision kind of turns me off, and that's my big concern for the card. Other than that, this card is absolutely filthy, in my opinion. Just a low contact, low vision is going to equal to a small PCI. Bobby Dalbec, you're number 4 on my list. At number 3, I have the first baseman, future stars for the Baltimore Orioles, Ryan Mountcastle. Right-handed throwing, right-handed hitting, secondary positions at third base and left field, has diamond hitting with bronze defense. Take a quick look at his attributes. He has 91 contact versus righty, 102 contact versus lefty, plus 100, always great to see in any card. 84 power versus righty, 87 power versus lefty, 86 vision, 59 discipline with 102 clutch. Amazing hitting card, especially for a right-handed bat. He's definitely a guy you would want on the bench for late-in-game situations when you need to get a big hit. So this guy would be great for a pinch hitter on your bench no matter what, even if you have a better first baseman than what he is, if you don't want to make him your starter. Take a quick look at his fielding. This is really where this card is not so good, minus the 63 speed. Pretty fast for a first baseman. But the rest of fielding, 68 fielding, 59 arm, 63 arm accuracy, 65 reaction. I'm not saying that he won't be able to play defense. He does have a pretty big frame at 6'3", 195. The reason I mentioned guys' frames and the reason I mentioned it for Dalbec, you want to have a guy that's big when you play in the corners because they can knock down a lot of those line drives down the line, or when they make a diving play, they can knock it down, which can save you some bases. That's why I mentioned the size. Just like last year's game, that 99 signature series, Frank Thomas couldn't field a lick to save his life based on attributes, but the fact that he was 6'5", he might as well have been a brick wall over there playing linebacker at first base. That's why I mentioned his size. 6'3" is not the biggest, however, I think it's big enough to be significant on the corners. I would not play him at third base because his arm's just not good enough, so you're only getting a first baseman. And I think he's a little bit better than Dalbec at first base, so I think that's why, hitting-wise, I think that Mountcastle's better than Dalbec, and I think the fielding at first base isn't as important. However, he's just not good at fielding, and that's my concern with this card. That's why he's at number 3 rather than taking that number 2 spot. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, bomber, 20/20 vision, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. He has those good quirks with hitting machine and bomber. Like I mentioned before, he has a really good stick. And I'm going to pick up this card to have him as a bench bat at the very least. I might try him a couple games at first base just to see what he's all about defensively. These attributes, I highly recommend getting this card for a pinch hitter at the very least for you guys. I don't know if you want to start him at first base based on his defense. I think there's some better options out there defensively. Also, very quickly, because I forgot to mention at the beginning of the card, within the organization, he's the 4th rated prospect, and he's Baseball Prospectus ranked 57th. And for Baseball America, he's ranked 90th in the prospect rankings. So he's a pretty big prospect for the Orioles. I really think the Baltimore Orioles are going to have a pretty good team down the road. They have some good prospects within the organization. Anyways, Ryan Mountcastle comes in at number 3 on the list. Clark Schmidt, the starting pitcher, future stars for the New York Yankees, 92 overall, right-handed pitching, with a 5-pitch repertoire of sinker, curveball, changeup, 4-seam fastball, and slider. He throws his sinker anywhere from 95 to 96 miles an hour max. As you can see, it pops up on the screen right there at 93 miles an hour. His 4-seam fastball can touch 97, 98. He has a very slow curveball and changeup at 85 miles per hour on the changeup and 82 miles an hour on the curveball. Those are both very good. As well as he has, for the 5th pitch, a pretty big breaking slider, 87 miles an hour, so it's a little bit harder slider. You can see with his attributes down there, he has 95 break. So within the Yankees organization, Schmidt is the 2nd ranked prospect. He's not on the top 100 for Baseball Prospectus. He's ranked 62nd for Baseball America. He has 96 stamina, 85 hits per 9, 88 K per 9, 86 base on balls per 9 with 75 home run. He has 83 velo, 95 break. So he's not the hardest throwing pitcher. However, he does have big break on his pitches. His sinker is pretty hard to hit and it moves a lot. His home runs per 9 meets that 75 minimum requirement I like to see in a lot of my pitchers because I don't like to give up the long ball. I wish his hits per 9 were a little bit higher. But at 85, I don't think it's too big of a deal being that he's a sinker baller. And I just think sinker ballers this year have an advantage over other pitchers because the sinker is very hard to hit, especially when you throw it high, because it gives you the break that a low sinker would give you, when in real life, if you throw a sinker high, you probably hang and it's going to get crushed. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are pressure cooker, workhorse, stingy, untouchable, control artist, grounded, sinker baller, knee buckler, illusionist. This dude got so many quirks, I'm out of breath. It's a lot. I mean, he has 9 of them, and they're all very good ones. Workhorse, so he's going to be able to pitch deep into games. He has a stingy to limit those base hits. The grounded for the home runs. Love stingy and grounded. 2 of my favorite. The control artist means he's going to have good control. As well as he has the all-coveted sinker baller for sinker baller pitchers. That is a huge quirk to have. The knee buckler and illusionist will also help to sell that sinker baller, being that he's not the hardest thrower. I really think this Clark Schmidt card will play above the 92 overall, much like the Brady Singer should play above his attributes as well that I mentioned in the AL Central video previously. Because of the attributes and the fact that he's a sinker baller, and he actually does have a really good motion to throw from too. I don't think he hides the ball from the batter necessarily any better than anybody else. With all these factors together, he comes in at number 2 on the Team Affinity's AL East Future Stars rankings. Number 1 on the list, we have 95 overall Future Stars second baseman for the Tampa Bay Rays, Vidal Bruin. He can play the other positions of shortstop and center field. So essentially this card can play second base, shortstop, and center field, which I think are the 3 most coveted fielding positions within the video game when it comes to needing depth or players that play well at those positions, especially second base and shortstop. I don't think there's a lot of cards that stand out from one another, especially not cards that are switch hitters. So this guy is a switch hitter, throws right-handed. He has diamond hitting, diamond defense. Take a quick look at his attributes. 106 contact versus righties, 92 contact versus lefties. He has 64 power versus righties, 51 power versus lefties. Not the best power guy, but at second base or shortstop, you don't really need a big power guy. You need a guy that can play defense as well as get base hits and a table setter. That's what I like to see at second base and shortstop for me. His vision is 97, 96 discipline, 98 clutch. He has 89 fielding, 77 arm strength, 85 arm accuracy, 88 reaction, as well as he is a speedster. 95 speed, 97 stealing, and 99 base running aggressiveness. This card to me is looking like a little bit less of a pop Roberto Alomar from last year, and everyone loved that Roberto Alomar from last year. I've also played with the Brujan, and his swing is glitchy. He just knocks it into the gaps, knocks it over the infielder's head. This card plays absolutely amazing. It makes sense why they picked him, as he is the third-ranked prospect within the Tampa Bay Rays organization. 73rd on Baseball Prospectus and 57 on Baseball America for top prospects. The two guys above him within the organization also have cards in the game. They both have prospects cards, and it's Wander Franco and Brandon McKay. So this guy's really third in his organization, but he's the most MLB ready out of the three, which is probably why he has a Future Stars card. But I think all three of those guys are going to be future stars within Major League Baseball. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know if it will come true or not. I'm not really an MLB scout. I just watched them play some, and I like what all three of them bring to the table for the Tampa Bay Rays. Also, I'm not a Tampa Bay Rays fan, so that's not some like fanboy talk. That's just for me being a baseball fan and a guy that loves baseball. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, 20/20 vision, walker, quick reflexes, sniper, speedster, thief, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. So he does not have the power numbers, but he does have the hitting machine and 20/20 vision as well as walker. The quick reflexes will make him a very, very good option at second base or shortstop, because he will react quickly to when the ball is hit, which allows him to get to some of those balls in the hole, as well as his 95 speed in the field. For this sniper, that means he has good arm accuracy. So whenever you get that throwing meter in the field, the green will be a little bit bigger, which is always nice, especially whenever he's ranging all over the place to make ridiculous plays. Hopefully he gives you some of those signature Derek Jeter jump air throws, or Javier Baez jumping in the air type of throws, and great defensive plays that we've seen over the years. That's what I hope to see from this card. That's what I hope to see from this card for you guys as well. Guys, I mean, he's 95 overall. If you put in the true values of his attributes, besides him not having a lot of power, he probably plays above that 95 overall, which is kind of ridiculous for the game right now. I think he's one of the best Future Stars cards. The fact that he's a switch hitter, you're always going to get those good lefty-righty, righty-lefty matchups when you're batting, which is pretty amazing. And that's why Vidal Brujan comes in at number 1 on the list for the AL East. Everyone, I really appreciate you guys watching my content, and I hope you're enjoying it. Please hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up so I know I'm doing a good job. Hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. If you are enjoying the content and you want to watch me live, you can watch me live on twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca. I stream 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. every Monday through Thursday. I also stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from time to time. However, I do not have a set schedule. So if you want to know when I'm going live then, you have to follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet out when I'm going live on those days, and you can pop into the channel, and we can have an awesome conversation about baseball, about MLB The Show 20. Really about anything in life, I'll have a conversation with you, and hopefully we can build a friendship and a community around that. Also, guys, if you, for whatever reason, you don't have Twitter and you don't have Twitch and you want to have a conversation with me, you can always add me on PlayStation Network. My gamer tag's Hopeful1137. I'd love to have a conversation with any one of you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, need any tips, strategies about anything within MLB The Show 20, I'm more than happy to help you guys out. That's really why I'm doing this, to help out other gamers as well as create a community. Guys, you all have a great day, and please be safe.